10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
HellRaisers, turn to ban.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the International 2017 Group Stages. We're here, our final series of the night, the day, the morning,
remaining.
wherever it is all over the world. We're done after this. We're going to have another day of Dota afterwards.
5
though, of
seconds
course, as
remaining.
the group stages will continue. But for now, it's HellRaisers facing off against Digital Chaos.
Turn
I'm Lyrical,
to ban.
joined as well with the main man, Mr. Merlini Dota.
HellRaisers, turn to pick.
How you doing, man? You were just on the panel, and now you're back to
DC's
casting.
turn.
That was a rush. You're working. We had some traffic on the way back. I barely just got here in time, but I am glad I have not seen any of the
turn to
action.
pick.
HellRaisers, I casted their run throughout the European qualifiers where they had to play a best of 3, a best of 3, and a best of 5 on the last day to finally qualify. So this team had the toughest day. I think they are the first team to come through from the lower bracket. Like all the way from the lower bracket, not just the
10
loser bracket
seconds
finals.
remaining.
Lower bracket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's big stuff, and
5
it's important.
seconds
and,
remaining.
You know, they could really use a win right now. They're not necessarily like the lowest, but you've got Cloud9, you've got HellRaisers, and you've got DC that are all, most recently at least from what I've seen on the updated group stage stuff, is 1 and 5. So that means that this match is so important. Let's say that these two end up 1-1ing each other. All of a sudden, all that needs to happen from Cloud9 is to win a couple series 2-0, and suddenly they're going to be the ones that don't have to play in the tiebreakers for who it is that's knocked out immediately.
Yeah, we have 3 teams that are tied at 1 and 5 sitting at the bottom. And yeah, you might be like, oh yeah, bottom's just receding. No, it isn't. Not for TI group stage. Loser gets eliminated. You don't get to play the main event. You don't get to go to Korea Arena. And you lose out on a ton of prize money. I guess you get to sit back and watch games, but you're not going to be enjoying it after that. There is no silver lining for that.
No, it's really rough. And interestingly enough, we see DC already coming out of the bat, taking the Queen of Pain, and now HellRaisers, realizing what their matchup is going to be, are also going to take their mid in the first phase. So Ember Spirit is going to be picked. Something that's we've seen a couple different theories and strategies
remaining.
as far as the first phase of drafting is concerned. Remember
5
our matches this
seconds
morning,
remaining.
it was just like all 4 positions picked early on.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 4 positions already.
That's true. That's fair enough. But yeah, the Clockwork and the Sand King probably going to be mirroring each other's movements around the early stages. And then Ember Spirit and Quap. I guess is it mainly just that like DC really value Abed playing this hero, and then HellRaisers feel comfortable with an Ember versus Quap matchup?
It's also because HellRaisers mid really likes Puck Quap. Those are his main 2. That he probably played that in like half the games in the qualifiers, if not more. So I think they're trying to limit his hero pool a little bit, make him play something a little bit more uncomfortable. I think one thing that HellRaisers do not have going for them is that they're not the most flexible in terms of hero player combination. So Puck Quap, and then everything else I would say is a little bit lower. And for example, Swift Ending also loves Slark. He is just a Slark picker through and through. But the one big plus side that they have to them is Saksa is coaching them.
Yeah.
So that is a big benefit. Of course, second place at TI last year. And also, I think he knows some of these guys very well, having been playing in the NA scene for quite some time.
Yeah, and I mean, HellRaisers, they're, he also would know all of them and their play styles because I believe that for a while, I mean, HellRaisers, this combination of players has been together forever. Not just necessarily in this ordering, but they've been playing throughout all of those
DC's
tier 2
turn to
Dota 2
ban.
leagues, and you just grow familiar with people over a period of time. So Drow Ranger banned out, as well as the Rubik. Considering we know what the mids are already, can you think about heroes that would gank, or is it too hard to gank these heroes out of the mid? Is it more just like mark somebody mid there and then, try and win the lane in that fashion?
The thing about that is, it doesn't matter who you ban really, because we've seen like 4 heroes mid constantly.
Yeah.
So I don't think the bans are terribly relevant in that particular situation. I think you're more concerned about the overall strategy. For example, Drow starts to really good against Ember. Ember needs a lot of time, and he's also circles very heavily versus physical damage and long duration silence. And that would make them lane mid even rougher for the Ember Spirit. So you'll see the drop in there.
DC's turn to
is
pick.
something that Swift
HellRaisers'
ending
turn to pick.
Silencer.
don't necessarily think it's like particularly good versus the heroes that they have right now, but with the Silencer picked, it makes a lot more sense. Wolfman beats pointy-headed glaive thrower.
Yeah, it's you'll just gobble that little man up. Speaking of
10
that, though,
seconds remaining.
you know, we've seen Silencer paired together a lot with Batrider, banned out in the first phase. The other
5
one that I
seconds
believe we
remaining.
saw in the, I think it was like LGD versus IG game. I was watching it in the middle of like our break, and I spotted Legion Commander and a Silencer as another opportunity, and that's something they could think about. Or another one of those just like strong initiators. Sand King on his own is quite good, but taking another of those so you can just like jump in, pop a duel, pop a global. Suddenly, there's no way to respond.
Teams have been pretty good against itemizing. I think we cast one good earlier with their 2 Lotus Orbs coming out very, very early on. So I don't think Silencer is that great of a first phase pick for most teams, but it is decent versus Ember Spirit. Makes him reconsider his item build. I don't know. The thing about Embers, they actually don't care that much about silence. A lot of times they just build Blade Mail and just run at you when they get silenced. So it's not an auto win by any means.
DC's turn to pick.
Legion Commander.
It is going to be the Legion. Looks like they watched the games from a little bit earlier on, maybe, or is this just something that's pretty self-evident? Do you like Legion as a hero right now?
HellRaisers' turn to pick.
Situation
Stands
far more so than
ready.
other heroes. Struggles in a lot of matchups, but I think the overall theme of the hero is pretty good. Like has some team fight, some split push, pretty good lockdown, decent laning, just fairly balanced. But I think it's better to
10
pick up earlier in the
seconds
draft,
remaining.
or if you really need the press the attack.
5 seconds remaining.
That is something. Is eventually you're going to be able to. I mean, what would you build really on her to try and get out of global?
BKB,
Yeah.
but you don't really need it. Usually you're the one in first. Just I don't actually think you really need to build anything. Again, just blade mail and just run at people. It's generally the play during global. So HellRaisers liking the big team fight though.
DC's
It's not
turn
good.
to ban.
Disruptor.
I mean, Disruptor can sort of help to alleviate that concern, but it does still sort of lack that, like, I guess the Clockwork is going to be that hard initiation, then you drop the Disruptor ulti on top of hopefully
10
a couple of
seconds
heroes.
remaining.
But it's a lot easier to probably execute the
5
DC lineup.
seconds remaining.
Jump in there, you're able to find yourself a Burrow Strike maybe, or possibly a Sven Stun. If they wanted to, we could definitely have a very mobile lineup between those 3 heroes and then have Global to follow it up.
You just have to press a few buttons on Digital Chaos. Press your Warcry button, press your Global button. You don't have to aim those. Those are easy. HellRaisers, you have to point and click.
Oh my goodness. Unacceptable.
Their lineup's way harder to execute though.
HellRaisers'
Spirit,
turn
like,
to
that's
ban.
probably going to be your initiator, like him going in along with Clockwork. Sometimes LC going in might be tough because he might be isolated on an island if you just global immediately after. Disruptor requires also some sort of setup, so it's not like too many of these heroes can do things on their own. Even in a team fight,
10
far
seconds
more AoE
remaining.
abilities on DC.
The one thing I do like about HellRaiser's lineup is the
5
vision
seconds
advantage that they're going to
remaining.
get by virtue of that Clockwork, most likely being played in the 4 role. So rocket flares abound. Do DC need to try and draft a hero to help that issue out at all, or do you think they can just sort of
HellRaisers'
try, giving
turn
them
to
some
pick.
extra vision?
Nah, it's
I
like the
think so.
old unapproachable theory, dude.
Okay.
The hot girl strat.
DC's turn
I
to
don't know if everybody was there when we were explaining that, but
Okay, the hot girl strat is that you have a lineup that you can like see what they're doing and see where their formation is, but you can't actually do anything about it. You're just sitting there and they're unapproachable because you have Warcry, you have Global Silence to counter initiate, and like it's a lot of like, do you
10
really want to go in
seconds
there?
remaining.
You have the BKB. Once you get
5
BKB on troll, you
seconds
can. But up
remaining.
until then, it's a little bit dicey. Coming out for HellRaisers, I would rate their team fight a fair like 3.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Whereas Digital Chaos has much better team fight. Regardless of what their last pick is at least like a 6.5, likely a 7.
All right. I like that. Those are those like little metric things, you know, like your versatility and all that stuff.
Nirana.
You may now select your
Wow,
heroes.
and now adding into this some extra magical damage, some good lockdown through the arrow.
Dude, Forev plays some hipster offlaner, man. He played Wind Ranger earlier.
Right, I remember that.
What else did he play? I think
I'm
he
not
played Puck
sure.
too, right? I don't
He
know.
definitely plays Enigma too, so he'll play some of the very in-meta heroes, but every now and then he's got to show you that, you know, he can spice it up a little bit. I think Mirana's still a good hero, though. You got the access to the jungle creeps a little bit. Not as good as it used to be, but...
No one's flaming hipsters here, Gabe. Never said they weren't good. Never said he's hipster.
Okay, fair enough.
He has those black frame glasses
I actually have a pair of those.
and those plaid
10
shirts.
seconds remaining.
I don't have that.
Oh, okay. So you're like half a hipster. You're just a hip.
5
I'm
seconds
just hip.
remaining.
What is hip?
He's not a hipster.
No.
He's half a hipster. I guess that makes sense. Do you have vision problems, or do you just use them purely for cosmetic purposes?
I mean, you've seen my casting. I have vision problems.
Okay, so that means you're not a hipster. If they're for vision, then it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, game number 1 of our final series of the day, HellRaisers versus Digital Chaos. We're going to see what ends up happening in this one. The one thing that's nice about the Troll Warlord, thinking about it, maybe a little bit more access for Roshan can help out with that slightly.
It also helps a lot with the LCS solo duel. Can't forget about the Battle Transpose duel, and they're both pretty low cooldown, so it's not like you're like, oh my god, they use both their ultimates. Nah, you're happy with that. Although, if he presses the Warcry button, life could be hard for us.
Prepare
Movement out across
for
the
battle.
map. You know, one of the first ways that I felt like I really got to know this HellRaisers lineup was with Milan playing his Earthshaker and doing the offlane pulls out of position 4. And it always made me just so happy to see that. They took it away from him. Sad. Do you spot out? Yubu spotting Milan. And it looks like Mason is going to come in as well. So a lot of the HellRaisers lineups are in the area, and also looks as Bulba was able to get down his ward over here to the side. Or rather, HellRaisers were able to get their ward. So you said you got to cast a lot of HellRaisers during the
30
qualifiers.
seconds
Did
to
anything
battle.
really stand out to you as far as the way that they play the game? And
Hell yeah, 3-3 is the bomb.com, man. That guy is a badass offlaner on the initiator heroes. His Earthshaker, I would say, almost single-handedly carried them throughout the entire qualifiers, which is pretty rare as an offlaner. He also had a awesome Magnus and a Tidehunter, I believe. Like, he actually was just the bully on the block. It was crazy how good he was playing relative to everyone else in the
The battle
game.
begins.
So I think he's a standout player for me.
Rising
I actually saw him stand in a long time ago, and he was doing some next level stuff on bat, or something that I haven't seen before. So I always have extra appreciation for those players who do something super original, because I think that's what it takes to be to get to the next level as a Dota player, is to have original ideas on it, which is fairly tough nowadays, because oftentimes people see these like 9 and 10K players like, oh my god, I want to do what they're doing, but that's the previous level stuff. You're just copying stuff that's already been there. The next level stuff is to be the person that people copy stuff from.
yeah, I mean, you're just going to always be an inferior version of somebody else.
Exactly. Man, I got a lot of flack for using inferior. Inferior simply means not as good relative to.
Who gave you flack for that?
I was in a bakery, and I went to a different bakery, and the bakery was worse than the other one. And I just went in the store, and I was like, wow, this bakery is inferior to the other bakery. It's just simply, it's just relative, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't use that. Wow, did you say that out loud? I was like, what? It's inferior. And they're like, they gave me a lot of flack for it. And looks like mid lane Kaiser is dodging trying to dodge the shadow strikes with the sleight of fist. Here he did one of them, but was too long to dodge.
no gold for you.
Looking back through all of the players and their most played heroes, I think Kaiser was maybe something like twice as much quap as any other hero that he played.
Yep, he's a quap swing.
So playing against it, certainly going to know how to do it, but got a little bit unlucky there on the sleight of fist.
I think he does weird builds too. I think he does like much more often and or earlier.
Oh, Milan, a little bit nasty there. Thought he could step up to Mason, but a couple pot shots to the face. So dual lanes is what we're seeing right now with Mirana being left alone for a little while as Bulba went over to pick up the bounty rune. Do you like this choice? I mean, it's basically left just a one-on-one mid with Kaiser versus Abed.
It's fine. It's not. If you could slide a fist dodge, the Shadow Strikes, it's not bad. And he dodged one. Yeah, it's okay. It's not amazing, but he's actually doing better in CS than Abed.
Okay, nice, definitely.
With that regeneration, maybe not so much.
Who spoiled that shot?
Well, that's rather unfortunate. We'll see if he can make something of this now. Kaiser, only about half mana and still has a salve to work with, as does Abed. Clockwork gonna come back into lane yet again here. They wanted to try and get this just out of range. Kind of a nice spot there for that ward.
No.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Minutes in, still nothing really relevant going on down bottom. It feels like they're very willing to just trade out the farm and continue to lane up. It doesn't really seem like there's great possibility for a kill on either team. Is there one side that sort of has a little bit of a greedier lineup and is happy with evenly in the laning phase as Roll is going to get punched a few times?
I would say they're similar. Troll and Sven both need a lot of time. I would say actually HellRaisers need it more because HellRaisers, they need the BKB on Troll. I think that Sven can fight without BKB, but Troll really cannot. Yeah, if you can just get like Vlads and then SNY really early on, then that's the dream for HellRaisers. Sven can get like Mask, Blink if he wants to, Mask, Echo Blink.
And you're talking about it, the regen rune does mean that Pop was able to spam a little bit more effectively, pushes the Ember out of lane. This is going to be quite nice for Abed, and we'll have to wait and see where that first rotation comes from level 6. If he even does want to try and rotate out of lane or just wants to keep putting the hurt on Kaiser.
First blood.
Oh my goodness.
First blood.
Really?
Last
already ends up
word.
going down. He's really able to take him down. Did 474 damage with Arcane Curse. Right clicks. Nuts.
Abed has an Arcane Rune in mid. No fun for Kaiser. That's two pretty good runes. I would say DD would probably be the next, maybe DD. Regardless, still a good rune. Tough time for Kaiser.
Now Abed, level 6. Go for Sonic Wave here if you wanted to. Clockwork is also in the area, making sure that nothing funky goes on. Fredko is able to get away from J4, and now with the movement in, the root is going to be there, and Abed taking a good bit of damage. Played at least a little bit careful as he's out of mana.
Is he going on no bottle build? Oh no, he's just he got the 2 nulls first. They see them far more common. The other builds. We do see a phase on those. Phase better for laning. Oh, Dubu.
Kaiser also in the mid lane. Bulba's going after him, trying to find that kill. They are going to be able to get it. Meanwhile, here to the side, Dubu also ends up going down. So simultaneously kills both mid and top.
Abed skipping blue. Not having enough mana even with the Arcane Rune.
Yeah, went up to level 7. That's kind of a different build as well than we always see, but can help him dominate the lane even further as the Bear Strike comes through. They've caught again this Ember Spirit. Only level 5. Kaiser is getting bullied. And DC making the most of it. 3-3 comes in, wants to try and pressure the tower a little bit, or rather keep them from pressuring the tower. And Dubu going to be forced back yet again. The glimpse pulls back in. Abed able to blink away. DC get out intact.
They need their Ember to get 6. He just died twice in a row. First time he
Radiant's
had Flame Guard
top
up, but it
tower
was
is
used
under
pretty
attack.
late. And then
A gift
second
from the
time he
Tempest
did
of Battle.
Flame Guard up. It's not a good look for Kaiser.
Then
Yeah, this has been a little bit rough the past couple
Vanish
minutes.
bottom lane. Moonlight Shadow approaching on a swift ending.
Get him. Was there, burrows through, jump forward, quick catch, quick kill, swift ending,
It was everyone
quickly
else's.
fall.
I thought you were going to make a swift ending, but
We'll get there. I'm sure it will happen.
sounds like a good end to a fairy tale. And happily ever after. They lived happily ever after. Is that a swift ending?
That's a good ending. That one is. Let's see if the swift ending is going to be good or if in fact it's going to be fun. Run into some trouble. He's only level 5 right now. Forev is already up to 6. Taking a nice little chunk of damage here, and with a glimpse available, going to pull back in. Forev able to link over to the top side, throws out an arrow to create that little bit of separation.
Worthy
Wow,
to-
he's farmed. He is away. Yeah, he's got a ton of farm here so far. Likewise, 3-3 has.
I'm far more surprised about the Mirana, though, having a good time. LC is pretty resilient. Can spam a lot, has a lot of conditions, but Mirana is good at taking out neutrals.
Jackpot.
Big creep arrow, but generally pretty hard at actually staying in lane and getting a lot of farm, because she's up there.
I'll take your tribute.
Well, 1 to 4, 8 minutes in. Milana's here as well. I guess, is that something that's going to translate into kind of a big issue for HellRaisers? Having Milana already up at level 6 and Phase Boot Soul Ring online?
School given.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
You don't want him to reach 45.
Radiant
We saw the last time
structures are
that happened
fortified.
with the Sven and the Mirana.
Oh my god. They actually hit that arrow. 3-3 is in a little bit of trouble, and Kaiser might end up being as well. They're able to jump forward and take down 3-3.
Dire's
Kaiser
bottom
seems to
tower
try and
is
rep it
under
away, but
attack.
Bulba was waiting. He knew what was happening. Can they actually kill this guy off, though? Not sure. Oh, it's a burrow strike again in 5 seconds. Bulba wanted to go.
Radiant's
Arrow
middle
going
tower
down.
is
Ends
under
up
attack.
connecting. They land on it.
Dire's
Long
bottom
duration.
tower is
Can they
under
get there in
attack.
time to find the
Radiant's
kill?
middle tower
They end up
is
pushing back
falling.
Dubu, but Bulba trying to find Kaiser. Arcane Curse is still going to end up maybe taking him down. He ended up getting the Flame Guard back
Radiant's
up, so
top
taking
tower
all of the
is under
damage from
attack.
Abed jumps forward, not going to be
Radiant's
able to
courier
find
has been
Kaiser
killed.
off in the woods, but Forev still diving deep. 3-3 is back up again, wants to battle some more, does have duel, but it might be the death of him
Shadows.
indeed if he goes
Take
too
it.
far. Moonlight Shadow back out, and barely, somehow, some way, Kaiser lived.
Radiant's top tower is
They're
under
getting away
attack.
with murder, though. Look how deep they were. They baited the shrine out, only used on one person to clog. Sad times for them. Kaiser's just struggling mightily.
I mean, that's the thing for this hero. I mean, is it normal that you can, like, go back to the jungle at all, or does he kind of need to, like, fight his way out of it?
The thing is, with when he goes BOTs, it's only for efficiency. It doesn't actually help your team fight that much. It just helps accelerate your farm. So I would say he's still like this, and whether or not he has like plus like 2,500 net worth, it's mostly the levels that actually make the difference more so than the items, especially if you aren't rushing Veil, which he is not. I think the armor would be mildly useful, but it looks like he wants to catch back up ASAP with the BOTs.
And you can see there is this level disparity. Abed's been able to get up to level 10 so far into that first talent, so 10 strength. It's going to be hard to kill this Quap. And then on top of that, it's just a 4,000 net worth lead.
That's exact.
This is feeling kind of rough right now for HellRaisers. 6-1. What's the sort of alleviation point? Is like Blink Dagger where things start to get a little bit easier, or do they have to wait for like a later timing?
Of
I
illusion.
think a later timing. Oh, I just don't think it's a Blink Dagger because of the Global Silence. Global Silence and work are very difficult for an LC to play around.
Forev again in the area. Milana's back behind the tower, and it looks like after taking tier 1 mid, DC thinking about trying to pressure for the tier 1 bottom, and indeed, they have found Milan a hell of a lot of
Dire's
damage.
top tower is under
Clockwork
attack.
dies again.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Then this is feeling
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
If you're
Dire
DC right
are
now, though,
scanning.
you had a great start to this game and a veil on Quap. Do you keep the pressure on? Just keep trying to run at him and finding fights, or
Radiant's bottom tower
like,
has fallen.
you know,
You should
not-
definitely keep running
Dire's
at
top
him. Troll doesn't
tower
really want
is
to fight
under
right now.
attack.
Ember doesn't really want to die anymore. He is going for a
Dire's
Yule
top
Spur.
tower
Okay,
has fallen.
that is poverty mode. That is... I am deathly afraid of dying, and he likely is still going to die on it, I would say, even if he gets Yules. That's the scary part.
Bulba just keeps on coming in and
Coin
stealing the bounty runes
three.
as well. And we've seen so much emphasis on taking down the tier 1 towers around the safe lane in the mid. And it feels like whenever that happens, your ability to farm around the map just gets so heavily shut down. That's happening.
Generally because you weren't strong enough to defend the towers in the first place. But Blink Dagger coming out in LC, maybe they can get at least, I guess, one pick off of that. But overall, unfortunately, won't change the state of the game too much. So, HR still... I'd be
Radiant's
hard pressed to say
bottom
if they have better
tower
late
is under attack.
just because I think Ember is up against a very difficult Ember lineup.
They're there. Duel comes out. They're going to immediately TP into this, though, trying to take the fight, and they don't get the duel damage. They are going to end up glimpsing back the Queen of Pain, but still finds the kill.
Invisibility.
Rev is actually the one that picked it up, and she gets a free path back towards farming. Looks like they'll be able to chase for any more, though, on top of that. Poor LC. No duel
Dire's
damage.
middle tower is under attack.
It's been kind of rough there for her. So, 2 to 8. It is now. It's maintained about the same level of net worth lead and experience lead. The items that are going to start to come out are probably what's going to be another defining factor, though. Mason, seen at about 2,000 gold. Do you think Blink Dagger and then just keep running at him is that play for him as well, or could he go for more farming-oriented items like an Echo Saber?
I think with the way they're played right now, probably Blink Dagger. I still think, I think they can still keep up pressure. They don't really need to sit on their side of the map to farm. I think a hero like Ember is very, very vulnerable. At this stage, he still doesn't have his Yule Scepter yet. They see the Void Stone, so they might think he's going Battle Fury and be like, oh man, this is going to be great for us.
Just outside of range, but it finds J4. Another right click will die.
Dire's
Troll
middle tower
Warlord
is under
stuck
attack.
back here 17
Dire's
seconds before his
structures are
TP.
fortified.
And does Dubu check? We'll see. I don't think they will. I think that Swift Ending will manage to escape. Well, up top lane, they're going to jump forward, have been able to find themselves this Sand King, and the arrow ends up connecting onto the Clockwork. It's a really long duration silence, but nobody else is there to try and clean up. Dual damage. He got some.
Got one, and that's his Blink.
At the same time, Troll saves himself in the bottom lane, and his hero with already limited intelligence is going to get some more of it stolen away by Dubu.
Troll's already a little...
Radiant's bottom
300
tower is
mana.
under
Wow,
attack.
that is really low, actually.
Yeah, that ain't great. And he has to use Mask of Madness, too. It's not like the most expensive thing in the world, but that with everything else.
Can't get burned by Arcane Curse if he can't cast any spells.
That's a thing. Is that the strat? Don't have any mana so you can't get hurt by Arcane Curse?
I guess theoretically you could build a lineup around that if you're versus like anti-mage. It's like, Mana Void doesn't have damage, joke's on you.
Well, 3-3 wanting to make something happen. At this point in the game, he is smoked up, but it might have just gotten revealed right there. He walked by where the flare was, and you see playing it safe still. Any detection right now for Sandy. They have one sentry ward, but no dust. The Blink Dagger now being revealed.
Now take that.
The prize is mine.
Just back out again. Try and farm up their next item. We'll see if DC try and make some type of move of their own, because Bulba almost has a Blink Dagger of his own.
Yeah, Boba is pretty involved. Anyways, we do have a little bit of lull in the game. This game is quite important for playoff implications. I think a lot of the other teams are riding the upper bracket or like not in danger of being in the lower bracket. But if the group stage were to end today, this would be the tiebreaker match in between these two. So these teams are fighting for a chance to stay alive at TI and move on to the next stage. So a lot of pressure riding on both these two teams. Not a glorious group
Radiant's
stage.
bottom
They won
tower
by any
is under
means,
attack.
and this is their start. They want this to be the start of their comeback into the group stage, or at least
Double
they want
damage.
to pick up a couple of wins so they are at least not in danger of playing this.
Yeah, definitely. And
Dire are
there's three different
scanning.
heroes, so even splitting
Radiant's
the game
bottom
right now would
tower
end
is
up
under
making a
attack.
huge
Radiant's
difference.
bottom
Allies
tower has fallen.
Yeah, these are the type of games that
Yeah.
will decide your fate. And yeah, you can look at it as the last games, but those games are just as important as these. Anyways, Kaiser getting jumped perhaps by Forab. He does have a
Global, it comes out immediately. They knew what they needed to do.
Dire's top
Immediately
tower
into
is under
Roshan.
attack.
Back DC just making these decisive plays, leading attack speed as well. And I'm thinking right now for HellRaisers, what's the play for them? Like, do they need to come and contest this?
I think, actually, they do have rocket flare vision, but Ember would have to buy back if so, and his rep is down, so it would take a long time for them to get there.
Oh, they jump forward. Burrow strike. Oh, just barely off the mark with that arrow. Are they diving too deep right now? 3-3 jumps in, wanting to take this down. The hook shot counterplay, but he ends up dying. The Cosmic and the right click from Dubu and Static Storm down, but it is really on just barely the outside edge of that Queen of Pain. And, well, J4 trying to get out of there, but Dubu gets a double. Not often that happens, and they're thinking about chasing for Milan, but will not blink aggressively. DC win another one. But Roche won't fall.
Yeah, Roche is pretty low. Yeah, as you see, for Evans actually transitioning into a right-click on with Evan Spirit now working going for the Lance into Diffusal. Diffusal holds a lot of value against a hero like Ever Spirit, where you can pretty much do like an extra 500 damage if you can clear the flame guard at the start of the fight. So this is already on their list of growing pains. They can manage to sneak Roche themselves. Like, Troll is kind of built for taking out Roche, but I don't know. I think now is a pretty good time. There's no epicenter, not that they really do that because he didn't just give it up.
Boom,
There's
there
no
it
global
goes.
silence too, which I think is the big kicker.
Illusion.
Yeah, I mean, we saw there just beforehand how quickly you can blow up somebody like the Troll Warlord, and well, so the Ember Spirit with the global and then all that magical damage on top of it. It's sort of tough too because like this would normally be the instance where you might try and build up a pipe or something, but they don't really have a hero that wants to go into that on the side of HellRaisers.
They might have to YOLO soon. They're getting to that point where they might not have that many plays left, so it is difficult for them to YOLO in a Roche though, because Mirana was scouting out with illusions earlier, but now, I don't know, they're still... Actually, Global's up now, so they won't be able to capitalize on that opportunity. They'll have to wait for another one. Maybe the Smoke Ink will do the trick, sitting behind Kaiser.
Milan is there as well as 3-3. They're waiting to see if somebody will come forward. Be a tasty treat for them. Queen of Pain is in the jungle. Be able to find Abed. The smoke could break, and it is going to now. They realize that he could be over in this area, and he's actually going to blink away. Don't quite have vision. They managed to find the hook, just trying to get the pushback, but the dust comes a little bit too late, and Abed's already away. They're not going to be able to catch him. A little bit of discombobulation going on. Oh, no.
I mean, that was just good positioning by Abed. He was in a place where if the smoke pops, they can't see him. They have to drop an observable ward as soon as their smoke pops, and even though they did so, they still weren't able to see him. So another disaster for HellRaisers, as they might need to concede Roshan at distance now.
Very tough.
Ooh, the fake Roche.
Oh, they're going for it. Yeah, they know what they want to do. The call is in there, and 3-3. Does he come up and hit the creeps? They know he's here. The blink back. They're not going to be able to find him yet. Dubu will spot them out now as well as Swift Ending, and now the wraparound coming. Mason pops God Strike, stuns out. Already going to connect. He does get to press the attack off, but slowed down for the moment.
Radiant's
going to
courier
die. And
has been
Mason
killed.
also takes the courier. Nobody is safe. Arrow connects onto Milan. DC
Dire's
are
top
just
tower
running
is
wild
under
in this
attack.
game.
Hide your chicken. Hide your troll. Everyone's dead.
Oh, man.
This is a head shake.
Dire
moment
structures are fortified.
for them. Like, what do they do here?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like normally you try and question like, what's
Radiant's
the way to
middle
get back
tower
into
is
this
under
game.
attack.
Is there anything that you're really seeing for HellRaisers here?
Well, maybe they can set up a sick angle on top
Dire's
of that
top
observer
tower
ward,
is
or
under
maybe
attack.
they-
Spoil that shot.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, look at that blink angle on Abed as well. He realizes that 3-3 was there, didn't want to end up getting dueled, and ends up just TPing away afterwards, just throwing fear into the heart of 3-3.
And he's gonna have Lincoln soon, so even the global pickoffs with Legion Blink is gonna be soon non-existent on clock at least.
So let's say that they do manage to find like a blink duel onto Abed and like perfect instances before the Lincolns comes out. Can they win the team fight if they take him out of it at the start?
Doubtful. I think like an Epicenter will come out immediately after because they have no BK meters, no chance really.
Twice the torque.
So they just need to pick off, not necessarily into a team fight, at least not immediately after.
Never refuse gold given.
Not a 5-on-5, let's say.
Okay, no 5-on-5 fights.
Yeah.
So 22 minutes in, 4-16. And it is Mason that's up here, not completely by his lonesome. Dubu's right behind it, but Radiant also spot that Dubu is here because of this that plays down the jump. And they also have to play Mel. Triple Remnant forward, able to get it off before him, but can they even kill off this Sven throughout the duration of the duel? He just turns the fight, eats him up alive. Mason, mad as can be, and, well, Ember not worth his time. He wants to farm creeps.
They even saw them. Well, not that it really starts really that much, but the thing about that is you know that he's looking at it too. Like sometimes the global will come out a little bit late, and you can get most of your spells off before the global hits, but because he's sitting right there, you know he's looking right at his in the lane farm being below.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Well, while we were talking about that one, Frev ended up dying in the mid lane by virtue
Dire's
of
middle
a
tower
hook shot
is
from
under
Milan and
attack.
Troll Warlord.
Radiant's
Battle
top
trance,
tower
but
is under attack.
Nonetheless,
Radiant's top
is
tower has
still
fallen.
quite substantial lead for DC. They can't afford to give away kills like that. But I mean, how many more pickoffs is it going to be before they're actually like back on parity? It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know if like Sven didn't intentionally pop his BKB or not pop his BKB rather. I think in that situation it's actually better to not pop your BKB. 'Cause
Dire's bottom tower
if
is
you
under
pop your
attack.
BKB, you'll be hitting for full damage, and you're against a troll, so a troll's going to use the axes. Oh, actually, I wonder. I'm just thinking about like whether or not you would want to have the blind chance to get something really good.
Right.
Maybe in some cases.
There's lots to go into it. Well, I mean, the plus side is that they're this far ahead that it almost doesn't matter. He could just like start smashing his keyboard. And actually, could end up working.
Isn't that how everyone normally plays Dota?
I don't know, man. Boba doesn't end up being hit there, but Swift Ending going to be found again, and Arrow comes through, connects.
Radiant's
TP is
middle
canceled.
tower
They
is
don't
under
want
attack.
anything to do with this guy. He has been pretty
Radiant's
fast to
middle
loosen his
tower has
BKB
fallen.
charges. It's down to 7 seconds now. And that is something that could be an issue.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
My eyes.
It goes on too long, maybe, but it does feel like the pace that DC is playing, at least for the moment, could be quite hard for them to really even stay alive, HellRaisers, that much longer than it. But maybe this is the moment. Hook shot comes in, he's able to catch him, able to put him back in. Aegis on the ground, and Ahmed is actually the one that ends up snatching it. Radiant got the kill, but Dire are the ones that got Aegis.
I think that was an overwhelming odds steal.
Well, showing the power of Clockwork still. Good hero.
Spoil that shot.
They even positioned themselves around so they wouldn't get hookshot, but nevertheless, still went in, still connected.
All right. So a couple of little bright spots here and there. You know, HellRaisers, they were able to take the kill on Rogue and score for themselves. You got 7 seconds on the BKB. And also, like, there's a lot of mechanics with Ember at the very least. Once that BKB is down. Dubu, TP away, and Chains. The Yules didn't quite come in time. Oh no, and now
I'll take
Ember.
your tribute.
This could be a really quick kill. He pops the God Strength again, turning and press the attack, no answer.
Dire's middle
Can
tower
you get out
is
of there?
under
You do have a
attack.
Yule Scepter, there's the lift up. Abed found him. Mason gonna clean up as well, most likely. Blade Mail gets popped, does a decent chunk of damage, but it wasn't nearly enough. 2 cores dead for 40 seconds, no buyback, time to go.
5 kills.
You look shaken for them.
Worthy tribute.
Do it with flair.
They're just a little lost. Lost children. Wandering around trying to hit creeps.
It's not easy. DC really having their way with this match. We can talk a little bit about DC as well and how well they've been able to perform. You know, the other day they took down OG, split the series 1-1 with them. The other games were a little bit lackluster, I would
Radiant's
say. But
top tower
I mean,
is
is
under
this a
attack.
team that you think has a lot of potential
Radiant's
to go far? What do you think their
structures
ceiling
are
is?
fortified.
They've been playing versus tough teams. They already have the base years. They play versus pro as well, so they have a lighter schedule. It's way more so than most. And I actually
Dire
rate
are
DC
scanning.
fairly highly, even though they
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
American qualifiers, they still were second place.
Radiant's top
There's
tower
also a
has
power
been denied.
in that mid lane.
Trying to fight off Burrows right there immediately. Arrow connects onto one of them. Swift ending. He has his BKB. Can he take down Abed? This is such a huge kill trying to get it, but it's Aegis and now Milan has Mason stuck there. They would have gained the duel and trying to turn this back around. Blade Mail doing 1.5 billion damage, and 3-3 gets the win, but Bulba standing strong. Epicenter takes down another 3 dead off to the side there, and now another Burrow strike. Bulba doing so much damage along with Abed. Double more kills for him there. That's Kaiser trying to get away, and it looks like he will. Possibly, maybe not. Sonic Wave to finish right on the tip. Abed,
Radiant's top tower
as
is
cool
under
as a
attack.
cucumber, making it happen.
And that's godlike streak. Ooh. Good kiting, good use of agents too. Surprised he
Dire's
didn't go
bottom
Treads.
tower.
No Treads is
Radiant's
an
top
uncommon
tower
build,
has
but
fallen.
didn't really look like he needed it in this game.
Radiant's top barracks are
Morav
under
got
attack.
so much out of the bottom lane. I think he was even farmed with the
Radiant's
LC, but you
top
expect the
barracks
LC to
has
fare a lot
fallen.
better than a Morana.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
And I mean, that's the thing too, is like, there were so many times where it felt like Moonlight Shadow just got the free pickoffs. He got the kill on Emperor over there by the Ancients, and you know, if you get off to that type of snowbally lead, it enables the rest of your team to as well.
Yeah, they were important pickoffs too. Queen of Pain almost has her Shiva's guard, so the items just keep flying in. He's probably pretty happy. He did almost die to duel, but he's fine. Looks like the second link is
Double damage.
DD for 3-3. 24 dual damage at the moment. This has been a little bit rough. Dubu keeps on getting the D wards going for himself. His
Players
squad.
here.
For DC, what's the sort of way to finish this game off? Do you want to wait until Roshan comes back up? Is it at all, you know, scary giving them
Prize
that
is
much
mine.
time to farm away, or is it pretty okay?
I think it's okay. Their mid T1 tower is still up, by the way. So they can just sit there and protect that and then take fights from there.
7-26, and where do you go at this point from HellRaisers looking at game number 2? I mean, granted, it's not over yet. Anything can happen in Dota, as we've seen time and again. But do you think that there was anything wrong with like their drafting and the way that they laned all of this?
Yeah, I
Or-
mentioned at the start, like I think their team fights are really weak. Like SK Silence was actually pretty strong. They didn't, like Disruptor's okay, but it just needs a lot of setup. You need all your heroes to stay alive in a fight so they can all help out each other. Whereas DC, like Co-op can just go in on her own, Sven can go in on his own. They don't actually need that much coordination in order to annihilate heroes within the first couple of seconds of the fight.
Use of execution are always so important, and being able to take team fights. It does feel like that's like the thing in this match. I mean, it's always important, but particularly here.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
Bottom
Dire's
lane
top
again
tower
being
is
pushed in
under
by
attack.
DC.
Dire's
Guys was
top
able to
tower
get away
has
with one and
fallen.
not get killed off in that rotation, but only cutting creep waves here. They already have a creep wave ready to go. DC looking for high ground again.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Top of God's strength. Kaiser again going to try and back him out there. Lincoln Sphere still on Sven. This is back off and cool down again. Needs to wait for a little while before it ends up coming back up, and long time before that next creep wave gets in there.
Probably saw a lot of TVs back.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack. Are
Wrap
scanning.
around at this point. Dire do use a scan just in case there
Radiant's
is a
bottom
wraparound.
shrine has fallen.
They don't
Haste.
they're playing this super
Worthy tribute.
well. And wasn't it those other games too where we saw DC just play a very disciplined game where they were always backing when things got a little bit dicey, making sure that they didn't end up overextending.
I don't think that's always the case for them. I believe they were up, what, 15,000?
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of where we are right now in their lead. And as we've seen just from this tournament alone, no game is unthrowable.
Enough.
Don't you estimate their throwing.
Allies disappear.
Well, they almost ended up going for a little something there, but don't quite catch on to Milan.
Flares here.
So talk to me then. What would it take to have HellRaisers come back in this game?
2 5-man throws.
Okay. 2 5-man team wipes.
Yeah.
Everybody on DC dead, and let's see if this can be the elimination. Kaiser jumped on. This guard is there. The Lincoln now the jump. The duel is there, but can they even kill off this Queen of Pain? I don't know if it's going to be the case. Swift Ending pops in as well. Mason is there looking for the stun, or possibly even just the right clicks. And once Troll Warlord's BKB is about to wear off around the same time as Sven is. They have the stun follow-up now if they wanted. The hookshot counter initiation comes out from Milan, keeping him alive. And Swift Ending trying to TP, but that's not going to happen. They find the stun. J4 does manage to get out of there. The south side of the fight, they find the Clockwork. Going to be able to lift him up with the Yules. And now with Troll dead for 58 seconds, and Clockwork as well in the grave. It's time for DC to push a little bit harder.
Radiant's
They're
top
all
shrine
crumbled.
is under attack.
Ooh, Disruptor actually has a Scepter soon. That could be a potential game changer, but there's no setup.
Radiant's
That's
top
the thing.
shrine has fallen. Dire's structures are
No Dark
fortified.
Seer, nothing to really like try and bait them into bad position. It's like Static Storm.
Dire's
It's
bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, it's a lackluster combination. Like screwing up people with Troll pretty much.
not bad again. He doesn't really have a great way to lock down the Ember, which is something. But
Yep.
still, kind of just be that placeable tank in front of everybody else. And when he gets that 25 pound, I don't know how they're going to try and kill him off. Moment DC, dotting their I's, crossing their T's. Seeing if they can finish this game off, that as we've talked about numerous times, is so important. Their ability to move on in this, and with the Moonlight Shadow, it's definitely an opportunity here to walk forward and look for a kill. Or just wait around since Roshan is back up now. Now you mentioned a little bit earlier on as well, like the Yule Scepter, but the other big thing that we've seen now is Legion Commander picking up the Halberd. I believe that was a fight or two ago. I mean, that's something that can be... He does have BKB. You're not going to be able to BKB it off if Legion's able to get the jump.
Yeah, it's good for popping the Lincolns, though. I think that's the most important part of the Halberd here. Sometimes it has some anti-synergy with the Blade Mail, but doesn't really matter too much. You can kind of just stroll up their base. Maybe not that easily, rather, but easily enough.
Pop
I'll take
goes
it.
back for that Maelstrom as well. Does have the level 25 talent now, so 60% lifesteal. Bottom lane, they were looking for J4, but couldn't quite find him in time. Get close enough to him in time. Kaiser keep on pushing, doing his best this year.
That's his job. Slow down the game. Maybe he can get it to rapier territory for Ember.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I haven't seen the physical build in a while.
I have been seeing a lot of plus 30 damage over 8 spell lamp at 10.
It's the dream. That's we just need one of those this tournament. Head back. All right, Abed, Maelstrom there. Aegis on Mason. Pipe pop. Time to go. How do HellRaisers like try and defend against this now? Is there anything that they can really try and do? Isolate one hero?
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Tried that last time.
Radiant structures are fortified.
All right, Mason just jumps forward and destroys the disruptor. A quick jump, quick kill. Didn't even need to use the stun.
Radiant's bottom
Looking for another opening now. He's just gonna back out after taking the Rex, and they literally cannot do anything on HellRaisers.
Push.
Sun comes out, the jump forward, press the attack on a 4-staff, keeps him alive, but only just.
Their firepower at this point is just kind of unrivaled.
Well. That's the thing, is like, if you look at this game in 7 to 29, it's right now a 25,000 net worth lead. I think that the biggest comeback ever was like 38,000 or something like that. But this is the type of patch too where I feel like taking high ground is not as hard as it was in some of those.
Agreed.
Again, just walking forward. Lincoln's in his backpack.
That's how rich he is.
He's got the same amount of net worth as between the two teams, and the siege on the tower. I mean, HellRaisers just in a hostile situation. There's nothing that they can do to stop this. Even the root
Go,
comes
Clockwork,
in,
go!
push back. They want to try and make it happen. Bulba actually ends up putting himself in the cogs. The 4-step doesn't get Mason outside of the base. A couple of strange collections. There's the jump away. The duel is down as well, but Mason starting to really deal out the deeps. Forev is going to live through all of that. Swift Eddie is trying to beat away at him. Mason is finally going to die with a little bit of help from Kaiser, but he's coming back in just a second. Kaiser getting ran down. Bulba connects onto the damage. There is so little left in the tank right now. He dies to the caustic, and well, DC sitting on the grave of HellRaisers. You take down Mirana with no buyback, but they kill everybody else in the world, and GG is going to be called. We knew it was all coming.
Not even particularly close. I would say. I had a higher hope for that.